Welcome back, folks, to yet another of PKN's live stream of interviews being conducted at the AIP Australasian Packaging Conference 2025 and beyond, and of course brought to you thanks to Ball and Doggett, our neighbours here at the show. Lindy, the interviews continue at rapid pace.
They have to, because there's so much good content coming out at the AIP conference. And with us here today is Richard Smith from Amcor Flexibles. And Richard's going to be talking at the end of the day, so we won't be able to catch him later. So I've decided to get him on early.
Thanks,
Richard,
Lindy.
we want to find out a little bit more about what you're going to be telling us later.
What I'm going to be talking about, Lindy, is that there's some really exciting changes that Amcor's bringing to the space of flexible packaging, or soft plastics, as we like to call them in Australia. We've announced globally that we're working and collaborating with Exxon. So we're beginning the process now of bringing advanced recycled circular content to our packaging and to our partners here in Australia right now. We've just placed our first orders, which is really exciting news. And this is really going to be a help demonstrate, I think, to all of industry that our consumers and retailers and the brand owners really want to go circular.
So that material, is that the application mostly for things like confectionery wrappers, or?
It's across the board.
Okay.
It's food grade. The real benefit of it is that it can be, in many applications, it can be a drop-in use straight away. And it has all the properties that we've been used to with flexible packaging, all those great things about barrier and gloss and then the way it looks on shelf. But you can use it straight away. And because it's a drop-in, because it's virgin-like in quality, we can really expedite the trial process. And if you're already using the grades we're bringing in, don't even have to really trial. It's a great solution from that perspective.
Now, I spoke to you recently, Richard, after the Plastic Task Force, Soft Plastics Task Force made their suggestion or their recommendation, their roadmap to restart, and you were quite positive about that news.
Yeah, very positive about the news, because I felt like it gave a position to industry that said we really need to step up now and make the changes. And I would have preferred not to see what was going on, but at the end of the day, I think now we can see industries rallying around wanting to demonstrate they're doing the right thing around flexible packaging. We also announced in late December, besides this collaboration we had with Exxon, the partnership that we have with Licella. And so we're really looking forward now to the facility being built here in Melbourne, and that means next year we're going to be able to have local waste converted into local materials, going back into local packaging. And we know that that's really what consumers are really looking for, is that their packaging is local and it's got local content.
So if I'm not mistaken, Licella was the collaborative partner on the Kit Kat wrapper.
Correct.
And they use their Cat HTR technology.
That's right.
Along those lines,
yes.
if I remember it all.
Yes, remembered well.
And Richard, you're also quite involved or supportive of the AFGC's National Plastics Recycling Scheme?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll be talking about this later today. When we look at what's happening in the market and in terms of these sort of investments, and their multi-million-dollar investments that are going to happen to enable these sorts of food grade circular materials to be made, we're going to need feedstock, at scale. There's about, let's say, 500,000 tonnes of flexible packaging put on market every year. And we would love to see, 50% at least of that coming back. And that's where the NPRS comes in from my perspective. It's really going to help us to galvanise across industry, local, state governments, federal, and try to ensure that we get that material being collected and enable these sorts of great investments that we're talking about to have the feedstocks so that they can run at full capacity and we can really all go circular with all of our flexible packaging in Australia.
So now some of your flexible developments, though, have been also paper-based.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think we heard yesterday from one of the speakers about that hierarchy of about, refusing, and then minimising. And I think there's a very strong focus around trying to reduce the amount of virgin plastic that's being used. And paper is one of those solutions. And I think that it plays an important part for consumers being able to have a choice of being able to easily recycle their flexible packaging that they have, which might be paper-based. And, that's a great solution. And Amcor's got a wonderful suite of solutions in flexible paper solutions. So we call it AmFiber. And that's what's coming to the market right now. So, yeah, we're very pleased, in fact, actually, to be able to make plastic flexible packaging circular. And if people want to go to circular paper flexible packaging, we've certainly got those solutions.
You've got that all in.
Yeah.
And the last point I wanted to raise was we recently interviewed someone on the podcast from TIPA. And they said, well, they've just rolled off some compostable flexible material.
Yeah, absolutely.
At Amcor as well. So you're keeping that in your arsenal as well.
Absolutely. And of course, we are very conscious around compostables being used where there's the opportunity to bring food waste back to a composting situation. And that's crucial. And
like
so
in
it's
South Australia with FOGO.
And it's about making the right choices.
Yes.
And I think we heard yesterday even from Rowan of the Australian Bioplastics Association sort of describing about making sure that the selection of packaging being in compostable is the right choices. And we certainly try to help our customers make those right choices as well.
Well, Richard, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Pleasure, Lindy. Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Good.
Well, thank you, Richard, and thanks to Lindy, and of course, thanks to everyone who's tuned in to this PKN interview that was conducted at the AIP Conference 2025 and beyond. We'll be back shortly with another informative discussion that will be brought to you by Ball and Doggett. So stay tuned to this channel.